Hey guys, Tactical.
Nicole Sauce.
Hi.
Hello. Cocktail hour.
Yes. So we're down to principle number 9.
Wait, can I interrupt though? Look, I got my
Yes.
hat back.
You do have your hat.
Yeah.
I
Good
could
to have
really
that
confuse
back.
people though.
I'm sorry, what?
I could really confuse people though,
You
but
could.
I won't do that.
Good
But
move.
anyway, principle number 9. We're like well over halfway done. 2 left after this one. So today is making your assets work for you.
That's a really fun one. No matter where you are in life, you have an asset you can make work for you. You just have to figure out what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I think this is one of the more difficult ones because, like, just like, okay, I have all these different assets. How am I going to make each one be productive? So, like, I have a car. Do I go drive Uber? I have, whether I'm own my own house or whether I'm renting, like, I have some space where I can grow stuff. Like, what do I grow? Like, I think that's one of the more complicated ones for people to figure out.
Yeah, I think it starts with an assessment of what you have and what it can do because you have to balance time and money, right? Because driving Uber takes time. If you don't have time using your car to drive Uber, not going to happen. Or if you're somewhere where there is no Uber, where you are right now, it's not going to happen,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But if you have a yard or balcony, you can grow lettuce, you can grow your food. And that makes it so you don't have to buy food. And if you enjoy plants and they relax you, that seems like a win-win.
Yeah, and you say that you can grow lettuce. Some
Okay, if you're where you are, you can grow peppers, but same
sometimes
concept.
you can't grow lettuce. Just saying.
Have you grown any lettuce at all there?
I did grow lettuce. I actually have some lettuce that I just killed because apparently the world hates me. But like, I did have like one spot or actually 2 spots where I put lettuce in, and when I did cut it and try to eat it, it was just nasty.
It was
Just
bitter.
the weather, yeah, it's bitter. The
Yep.
weather was just too hot. So it's kind of one of those things. I mean, if you're looking at the land aspect, what space do you have to grow? You might not be able to grow lettuce, but you might do really well, like I do with peppers. So, like, it's one thing. I've got 2 Tabasco plants right now that will be here long, 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 long after I'm gone.
Yeah.
And those Tabasco peppers are producing so many Tabascos, I can't give them away fast enough. Like, they're falling off and landing on the ground, and there has to be like 15 of them that have just sprouted up from the ones that have fallen off. So, I mean, I think it is kind of like you were saying that, like, you know, you have to do an assessment. Okay, maybe you can't drive Uber, but what can you do? What do you have?
Yeah.
And just finding ways to make whatever you do have productive.
Yeah, and there are some people that their asset is they're very persuasive, right? So it's something about their demeanor. That's an asset. That is an asset you can leverage into sales. Sales leverage into commissions. Commissions become money. If you put some of that money aside, you end up with money as your asset, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of in a different way. It's one of the situations I'm in right now is like, there's not really anything to spend money on. So I went into a full blown, like, okay, while I'm here, I'm saving as much money as I possibly can. And I've probably, yeah, I've doubled the amount of money that I've had in the last 2 years.
Awesome.
2 years. I've doubled the amount of money I have. Just
And
because
go ahead.
it's looking at, okay, the situation I'm in, there's not a lot that I can do, but there's nothing to spend money on, so I'll just save. And I spend a lot of time cooking. And I've spent a lot of time growing my own food, which also saves me money. So it just turned into this whole snowball effect of like, while I've been here, it's just save money. And it's paying off in the long run because I'm going to need that here come soon. So,
Correct. Yeah, and so I think where people might get confused on the asset thing is if you do have savings, how do you make that asset work for you? And the truth of the matter is, if you have $10,000 set aside, you should not run out to the stock market and put it in the stock market, right? You have to find other creative ways to do that. And it may be that just having it there, creating security for you in other ways is good. Or I've leveraged a lot of my assets into real estate, and I do rentals. And that's actually something that has paid me pretty well on and off over the years. And it usually doesn't take a lot of time. I was telling you, recently it's been taking a lot of my time, but that's because we're doing a big remodel. But that asset is just one way I've done it. And that's not for everybody. It goes back to like, what are you good at? What do you have? How can you leverage that into additional value? You know, telling a good story. That can leverage into lots of upward potential.
yeah, and that's another thing too, though, is like on a completely unrelated note, I was thinking about this earlier today. I was watching a video with John Willis from SOE, Special Operations Gear, and he quoted somebody, I cannot remember the dude's name. I tried to remember the dude's name earlier today on a completely unrelated topic, but he said, 10,000 is my zero. And what he was referring to was his savings. Like if he has $10,000 in the bank, that's his zero. I have no money, because that's his fallback fund. Right. So there is a certain level of like, okay, if we're going to talk about money, like that's my fallback fund. That's not for investing or anything else. At the same time, like I have Navy Federal Credit Union. I have USAA. I have both bank accounts. And when I look at them and what they offer, Navy Fed hands down wins. They have a money market account that's like 2-point-something% interest. So I don't have a savings account. I have a money market account. And that's where most of my money sits. And that's my zero money. That is my, in that guy's words, my 10,000 sits in that account because it gets the best interest rate. So in a way, it's kind of like I'm making that money work for me. It's one of my assets, but it's still doing something while it's sitting there.
It comes with risk, right?
Everything comes with risk.
Because if the stock market crashes really bad, that will go below your initial principal. And that's the thing about money market accounts that people don't always think about. Yeah. So you have to, like, on the other hand, if the stock market crashes that bad and the economy crashes that bad, theoretically, your dollar is going to be worth more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But that's also a situation, too, where you should be paying attention.
Right.
So, like.
Good point.
And paying attention with all of your assets. Like, if you realize, like, I have a house right now that I would really like to be out from under. It's leased right now, so my mortgage is covered. But if I foresee a real estate crash coming, you can guarantee, like right now, at that moment, I'm trying to get out from underneath that house as quick as I can.
Yeah.
Like however possible to where I don't lose everything.
You don't want to lose your butt.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of a situation where regardless, whatever assets you have, you should be paying attention. I mean, I think that is in and of itself a good point, is the fact that if you have an asset, you should be paying attention to, like, I have a house. You should be paying attention to the real estate market. You know, if you have stocks, you should be paying attention to that. And I mean, this is another thing I was kind of thinking about earlier today too, is the fact that I kind of live under a rock. Because, like, you know, I found out like 3 days after the government shut down that the government shut down, and my paycheck kind of comes from the government.
Whoops.
So, yeah, I kind of live under a rock, but there are certain things that I do pay attention to.
Yeah.
So,
The government shutdown was not one of them.
no, not so much.
Yeah, that didn't seem to worry you very much.
No, but then again, like like I said, you know, I've got backups to my backups. So, yeah.
Okay, so advice to people watching this, if they want to start doing the assessment to figure out what assets they have and how they might make them work for them, like what do you recommend they do? Like 2 or 3 steps. Step 1.
Step 1 is obviously just going to be identify what do you have that can be made productive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, whether it's your yard, whether it's a vehicle, your house, real estate, whatever the case might be, what are your assets?
Yeah, and I think you add to that skills
Yes.
and network.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, network goes back to community, which is, you know, that's one of my big things.
Yeah.
And then I think the second step is trying to figure out what you can do. And a lot of people kind of try to get gridlocked with that one. And, you know, oh, well, I've only got like, you know, a quarter of an acre, so I can't grow food. Yeah, you can.
Growing food in like 16 square feet or something. I don't know. I should measure that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, people are growing food on their balcony in a 50-story high-rise.
Yeah, it's 16 square feet right now. It'll be 3 times that soon.
Yeah.
When the peas
So,
come up.
I mean, I think kind of the first thing is just identifying what do you have, and then kind of thinking outside the box as far as like, how can I make this thing productive? What can I get out of it? As opposed to letting it suck money out of my bank account. So if I could put it into 2 steps, that would probably be it.
Okay, makes sense. I think there's a third step, and that's identifying, like once you know what you have, what you can put into it, I think like looking at the ones that bring, I think there has to be an element when you're doing this of, it either brings you a lot of upward potential for the effort or joy. Because I think if you hate people and don't like driving, you can totally make money driving Uber, but you're going to hate it.
Yeah.
So maybe you should put your effort somewhere else.
Yeah.
You know, unless Uber is going to pay you an extra $20,000 a month or something, put your effort somewhere else that doesn't make you dread it. Because that's the balance I think you need to do. When especially if part of you making your asset work for you is you.
Yeah, and I'll totally do the flip side of that coin too. And sometimes it's not necessarily profitable to do something, but it gives you some level of sanity.
Yeah.
Some of the garden beds that I put in here, like I haven't gotten that much out of them.
Right.
But I would probably be in some federal penitentiary for like murdering half the people that I work with if I didn't have the garden beds to like maintain some level of sanity.
Yeah.
Because like
those things.
Yeah.
Mine is my chair right there.
So.
Oh, there's no cat.
Yeah, there's no cat. Wish there was a cat.
He's in the bed.
Yeah. Hi, Nash. But anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I think that covers it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Awesome.
So, all right. Well, till the next one. Bye.